All right. Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today, Saturday. Lions Talk Live, just 48 hours. Well, probably actually a little bit more than that. Probably like 54 hours or whatever it is until the kickoff of the next big season in the NFL, and that is free agency. Sorry if my voice is a little hoarse today or whatever you want to call it, a little out of the norm. But, coached in the big game last night. And I know some of you guys have already seen it in the comment section. We did not pull it off. Tied game going to the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, the other team couldn't miss a free throw to save their life. We had a few turnovers. So, unfortunately, the Red Wolves season comes to a close at 22-3. Great season, great run. But, on to the next thing. And the next thing is free agency with the Detroit Lions. And I'm going to say this. We got a little bit of news and rumors, speculation, I guess you could say, last night or yesterday during the day that Stephen Gilmore might be a consideration for the Detroit Lions to sign via free agency. Another one I was really intrigued by that I had not heard anything about prior to this, and that would be that from the Cleveland Browns, Greg Newsome II might be a possibility for the Lions to trade for and acquire. Most of us, I'm going to guess, probably understand Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, and Greg and Newsome are just a phenomenal trio of outside corners for the Cleveland Browns. They had a phenomenal defense throughout the regular season. It's just unfortunately when they got to the playoffs, that defense kind of got picked apart and caught off guard with things. But if the Lions really could go out and get him, then, that would be a significant upgrade for the Lions secondary, which we keep speculating on the Lions trying to acquire this corner, that corner to address some of the needs in the secondary. But yeah, Newsome, he's going to the fifth-year option, I want to say, for his rookie deal. So if you're going to acquire him, he is going to require a little bit of a new contract and a bit of a pay increase. It would be interesting to me to find out what the team would have to give up to get him in a trade. And I've got nothing but speculation on my end, so I'm not even going to comment on it because I don't think there's any real big reports out there as far as what the Lions would actually be asked to give up in order to get him. So I guess we'll have to see what shakes out with that. Real quick before we get into the rest of the video and the comments about today, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Trying to make a push to get to 6,000. We're about 30 subs away. Also, if you're enjoying the content within the video, don't be afraid to leave a thumbs up thingy. Last but never least, in case you were unaware, outside of coaching and running YouTube, I'm also a realtor, have been for an incredibly long time. So if you're looking for someone to work on your behalf, try to help you through some of the questions about either buying or selling property anywhere in the state of Michigan or save you some money, give me a call, shoot me a text, 269-998-2384. So let me see if I can help you out with any of the questions you may have or situations you've encountered. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the comment section. See what you guys got to say about these potential signings or trades for the Detroit Lions. I get we all are aware there's still talk about Ladarius Sneed being traded for and acquired by the Detroit Lions. Everything's on the table, it seems, with this team. A lot of things are going to be answered in the next, 2 to 3 days as far as where the Lions are going to go with some of these speculations. All right, JDC, good morning, all. Good morning to you. JDC, Detroit Lions train whistle goes, woo! And I gotta be careful, man. My voice is on. It's gonna need a day off for sure. Michael, greetings, salutations, coach and Duke crew! Exclamation point. Tough loss last night. It was, man. It was. We had our opportunities. We got up, man, somewhere during the third, we got up 8, but unfortunately just, a few more mistakes than we could overcome. And you could see where some of the other teams, just poised, having been through those moments before, probably ultimately made a big impact for them, and kudos to them. All right, burger time. Good morning, Duke crew. Good morning, coach. Sorry about last night, but definitely be proud of a great season. Yeah, 100%, man. I think I put a post up about it last night. There's only 4 teams at the end of the year, 1 in each division. They're going to be able to say their last game of the season was a win. So, it stinks when it happens, and just no different than the NFL, NBA, or whatever. When that last game happens, and if it's not a win, just the finality of the season. I mean, you're so grained into yourself, for 4 or 5 months, getting out and do this stuff, practices, games, whatever, like clockwork, that when it ends, it's just abrupt. And it is at every level in every sport. And it just leaves a little bit of a void until you mentally and emotionally get used to your new norm. And yeah, it's gonna take a week or two, definitely. All right, Bo, what do you got? Good morning, Duke Crew. Superdome or bust! Exclamation point. Congrats on your girls' season, Coach. Thanks for that, man. Thank you very much. All right, Michael. It's possible to land Gilmore so he can play with his younger brother. It is possible for sure. Gilmore's obviously been a terrific corner in this league for some time, but I just wonder if that's really the direction they're going to go with things, because he's up there in age. He's on the wrong side of 30 for most teams. And I just believe you're going to have some other options at corner. Maybe they do decide to go that way. Maybe it is so he can play with his brother. Maybe it is so he can work with some of the younger corners on the Lions, especially if they're going to draft one or two. I just think in the scenario we've laid out in the thumbnail, based on some of the rumors of the last 24, 48 hours, Newsome seems to make a lot more sense to me. Ladarius Sneed makes more sense to me. Gilmore, I think if you got further into free agency and you hadn't acquired somebody else either through free agency or a trade, then maybe I'd be looking at Gilmore a little bit more. Bo, what do you got? Is Voldemort back? Yes, I think he's targeted to be back next year. Although we'll wait and see what happens after training camp. Trump's woo! There you go. Another woo of the day. And good morning to you. Garland, greetings and salutations, everyone. Can we just hurry up and get to Monday at 1 p.m.? This downtime is so lame. Yes, you're getting closer and closer. You're around 50 whatever hours away. I can't even do the math in my head today, but hey, we're one step closer. How about that? Quentin, greetings and salutations, y'all. Yo, Coach D, congrats on the season. Seen y'all lost last night, but damn solid season with 22-3. Yeah, 2 of those losses, unfortunately, are to the same team to the team that we lost to last night. We played them 3 times this year. We won the first one. Second one, we had the lead in the fourth quarter, couldn't hold on, and kind of the same thing last night. Had the lead at one point in the fourth and just couldn't finish it out. But great season all the same. And you know what? Hey, hopefully we've got a lot of returning players on the team. Hopefully they've learned from this, take it all in, and apply it for the next season or two. JDC, nice thing with sports and being a Lions fan, get them next year, Coach. You are correct with that. Go Lions, go Red Wolves, go everyone. Yes, there you go. Yeah, that's the great thing is that the Lions, I think they learned a lot. At least I would anticipate the coaches, the players, everything learned a lot about what it really takes to get into the postseason and then obviously win in the postseason. It's one thing. I don't care if you're talking high school, college, or pro sports. The tempo, the decimal, the attention to details is all so elevated at that next level because the intensity, everybody is aware you win or you go home. And that just brings things to a different plane. Not everybody emotionally handles that well. And I'll say this, I think the Lions will be a lot better for next year, but they're also going to face a very difficult task trying to repeat what they did last year. If they can do that, though, draft well, address a few topics, within the team. The Lions have a very realistic opportunity, I would think, to contend for the Super Bowl. And hopefully the Red Wolves too. All right. AJ, good morning. Newsome would be an interesting addition. The Browns have some really nice corners. What would he have to give up to get him? I guess that's my question. So let's play this out. Let's Scooby-Doo this, as I like to say. If Sneed's reports are maybe a second rounder, then I would say this, Newsome's probably closer to a third or fourth. And maybe I'm way off base with that, but that sounds logical to me. I think there's a possibility Sneed ends up going for a late second rounder, maybe a third, if there's not a bidding war, right? So that would also mean I think Newsome's asking price is probably just going to be a level beneath that. So maybe a late third, maybe a fourth. Let's see. Dale, what do you got? Great salutations, Duke Crew. Newsome would be a great addition. young players soon to enter his prime. Yeah, and I get you're going to have to pay him just like Snead. It's just, hey, if you're going to make a trade, which one's going to be the one for you? Is there going to be a difference in the contract? Yes, but I think it's going to be fairly finite, just minute. But I'll also put it this way: if Snead gets somewhere around 20 to 22 million a year, then I'm guessing Newsom's probably getting 17 to 18, and it's not a huge difference. But you know what? You would be freeing up a few million. It's just I do think Snead is a slightly better player than Newsom, but they're both very good players. Papa agrees. Citation: Gilmore is old and not by a minute. I don't know if I'd be in a hurry to add him. Yeah, and I'm pretty much with you on that, Papa. I like him. I just think I would not be in a hurry to sign him. I would try to go for somebody a little bit younger. Dale at Papa Noel agreed, brother. Yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that. Clark, what do you got? Good morning, all. Any chance we still get Hunter or Jones? I can dream. Is there a chance? Sure. And it just, I know we speculated a lot yesterday about Danielle Hunter. And I think there is, it would seem, especially since we talked about how we nearly tried to get him last year via trade. Obviously, there's some familiarity and some desire from Brad Holmes to acquire him. So, yeah, well, I think there's a real strong chance there that if we're going to go for the blockbuster guy, that's the way we go. Jones, who knows? I mean, he would be awesome to have. I'm just not sure we're going to put forth what would be needed in order to acquire him. Real quick, just because it just hit me, and I know Anthony messaged me about this earlier. So real quick, most of you guys know Anthony in the chat. He's been working on those T-shirts, etc. And he wants me to. I'll have to probably not do this on air or whatever, but I'll probably have to get up something. He's got an order code. Here, let me see if I can put this in the chat. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to wing this a little bit, but if you want to order any of the Dew Crew shirts that he's worked on, I'm going to put in an order code in the chat for you guys to be able to go ahead and do that. Trying to make sure I type it right here and don't mess something up. All right, there you go. It should be going into the chat. So if you see the number in the chat, he says give folks my order number, and you have the order number in the chat if you want to order any of the Dew Crew T-shirts. And I want him to get that out of the way now so I don't forget about it for you guys, because I know he's done a lot of work on it, and some of you guys have asked for months now for Dew Crew T-shirts. Well, now you have an opportunity to go ahead and do that. So yeah, let me know if you guys need anything else. All right, Bo, I know nothing of this Newsom. Is he related to the Wizard of Oz? No, not that I'm aware of. He is. The Browns have three very legit outside corners. One could argue they need to acquire somebody to cover the slot, because don't hold me to this, but remember in their playoff game against the Texans, that's where it seemed like the Texans really took advantage of their defense. A lot of crossing patterns, in-out routes, and there is a difference between playing the slot corner and the outside corner position. The Lions, on the other hand, have a lot of good slot corners, especially if they bring back Gardner Johnson. You could say they have a gluttony of people that between him and Branch that could play the slot. Their outside corner position is probably a little bit more of the worry spot. So, maybe they work a trade for just draft picks. Maybe they trade. I wouldn't imagine that Cleveland's interested in any of their corners, and I don't see the Lions trading Branch, nor if they sign Gardner Johnson. But yeah, something could be worked out there to help the Lions acquire a player of need. All right, Hooky Doo, good morning, Coach, and to all the Dew Crew. Coach, Red Wolves will get them next year. We can celebrate two champions, Lions and Red Wolves, 100%. Yeah, I think that's both teams' goals next year. Championships or bust. We'll go with that. Stephanie, great salutations. Does anyone have some, quote, under the radar players we might sign? I'm sure there's quite a few of them. I know we've mentioned a couple of guys in the last week or so that would seem to, they're not going to be the top flight people that I think most of us are after, but, or at least mentioning, I should say, instead of after. But I think you'll see a lot of people start bringing up today and tomorrow some stuff. If you guys have anybody in particular in the chat, go ahead and throw it out there at us. Detroit D, greetings and salutations, everyone. Back at you. Hopefully you're having a great one. Jess, good morning. I'm looking at reports that JJ might get around 18 million, 18 or more million in free agency. Coach, do you think we will resign Jackson? Jonah Jackson, and I get most of us want him back, but I do think just because attrition, we've got so many good players, so many guys that are getting paid. I just really think it's going to be a struggle to sign him for anywhere around that price tag, just because that means you would have so much money into this offensive line. Plus, you do have a couple guys getting a little bit older. I hate saying it, but I think Jonah Jackson, you almost have to move on from just so you get somebody younger, cheaper, and start protecting the future of the offensive line while also protecting the team's salary cap. We'll see if that's what they do, though. All right, Matthew, greetings and salutations. Good morning, everyone. Gilmore would be a good pair with his brother, but it would definitely have to be at a team-friendly price. Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that, Matthew, that if you're going to bring him in, especially at his advancing age, it's probably not going to be for big money by any stretch. Dale, Coach Dan, sorry about the loss last night. You and your team had a great season. Thanks for that. Chin up, chest out, Coach. I'm working on it, man. Next year will be another great one for the Red Wolves. Yeah, 100%. The kid's going to need a little time probably to emotionally get over it, get into their next sports seasons, but give them a couple months and maybe we'll have some chats about the summer and then obviously next winter. All right, Matthew, the corner that I was hearing would be good addition was the one from the Commanders, William Fuller. And, he would not be bad. He would be, I would say if there's like 4 different ranges for free agent corners, I guess Snead's not really a free agent, but he'd be near the top of the list. Newsome would probably be like that next level below him. And then Fuller's not bad. He's probably right around the Newsome level, maybe a slot below that, but real good guys, not elite, but you could definitely do a lot with them. And I wonder Fuller what it's going to cost to sign him. But he's probably not going to be, at least I'm guessing, one of the first corners signed because agents are going to want markets to be established, price tags to be established. And I think he's going to need a couple of the higher end guys to go off the board to help elevate his asking price. Fuller. Yeah. I'm guessing it's Fuller. Franz, and also good morning, everyone. Good morning to you too. Matthew, sorry about the loss, Coach, but you had a good run. Too bad you had to come up against that team early instead of the end. Yeah, their coach and me were talking before the game that there was a real possibility. Not saying it's going to happen, but there's a possibility that whoever won that game would win both games next week and basically put yourself in the elite, whatever it is, 12, the final 12 teams in the state, just because how things matchup-wise played out. But you still got to play the games, and anything can happen. But it seems like a real good chance that would take place, at least looking on the outside. All right, Trey, what's good, everyone? Question mark. One step closer to Christmas shopping for every NFL team. You're not wrong. When free agency kicks off, you're going to have a lot of teams and a lot of fan bases clamoring, jumping up and down, saying, man, oh, man, look at all the possibilities and potential we just brought into this team. And that's part of the fun of the NFL is that it really has become a year-long season for each teams, or there's just always reason to pay attention to your team. Unlike some other sports where when the season's over, maybe you pay attention around the draft, maybe you don't. The NFL just stays relevant for the most part for 12 months out of the year. All right, JDC, Magic 8 Ball says, whoever the Lions draft, sign, retain, I hope their hearts pump Honolulu blue and silver blood. Yeah, I got to imagine that is almost a prerequisite / priority at this point. Ed, good morning, Coach Ducru. I would have thought Brad would have signed more players from 2023 team. I wonder why he hasn't. He's clearly got a game plan. He's clearly got a set of things he wants to do. It's just, we're not all given the full spectrum of what that plan is yet. Few months from now, we're probably all going to look back and say, yeah, that makes sense. I get this now. So yeah, we just have to wait and see what his master plan is and how it plays out in front of us. Matthew, yeah, I think it was Fuller. Yeah, Fuller. I think that's it. Yes. Matthew, the defensive ends. How does Huff from the Jets compare to Brian Burns? they're both very, very good ends. Burns is just, I mean, he's a monster because he's got so much speed and ability to bend with upper body strength. To me, that's what makes him rare. Like, you guys hear me talking about how much I, like James Houston because of his bend, his speed, his ability to dip. That's Brian Burns, except Brian Burns is also pretty stout against the run. And unfortunately for James Houston, at least at this point in his young career, that's not a strength of his. As far as Huff he does not have the speed or explosion nor the bend of Brian Burns, but he is a massive dude. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being Huff versus Burns. They are different. I would say Huff is, better out of the two as far as run defense and ability to shut down, take on blockers in a bull rush type move, where Burns, that's, getting by just on his strength isn't his top thing. He's got to use a combination of all of his God-given abilities to do what he does. But man, I would put it this way. Maybe I should just say this. Hunter, Burns, Allen, those are your three premium, quote unquote free agents, even though I get they've been franchise tagged. Huff is not quite their level, in my opinion, but you're kind of to a certain degree splitting hairs, because if they're all, say, the 10 out of 10s, he's like a 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10. So, take it with a grain of salt. Born, what do you got? Good morning. Good morning to you too. Ed, does Brad's patience with not signing guys mean he might be looking at a lot of free agents? It's possible for sure. We're all speculating what his master plan is, and that's keep that in mind. We're all speculating what it is. It's going to probably take a month or two, maybe until after the draft, even until we really understand what he was trying to line up with things. But I do believe he's got somewhere on a big board or whatever. We're trying to take you here to there. I mean, he's trying to connect all the dots that he sees he needs to do in order to get the team where he wants it to go. All right, Jason, good morning, Duke Crew. Offhand, do you know any contracts expiring next season that would affect our decisions now? As far as maybe some of the rookie classes, as far as veterans on the team, off the top of my head this morning, Jason, to be fair, I can't think of anyone, but there are going to be a number of rookies next year that are going to need to be resigned, and that's going to be headlined by Penei Sewell. And yeah, there's no way they're letting him go, because I do think in the next season or two, he's moving to the left tackle, and Decker's either retiring or probably moving to guard, which I would have no problem with Taylor Decker moving to guard and getting another, say, 2 to 3 seasons out of him. Brent, good morning, Coach Duke Crew. Coach, you still had a great season! Exclamation point. Congrats on a heck of a year. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, that they gave it all there this year. Berg time, 22-3 is no easy feat. Great job, Coach. Thank you for that. 100%. They grinded hard, and man, we're just like everybody, man. You want to keep it going. Unfortunately, though, at some point it all comes to a close. Doug, what do you got? Browns have the worst draft capital in the league. They could be inclined. Yeah, and I think that you're 100% with that. I think that is part of the reason why they might potentially trade Newsome or other people, is because they can look at it and say, hey, we need to bring in more young talent here, more cheap talent. We've got to get rid of some of these guys. We can't re-sign everybody. It's just not financially possible for us to do it without running into some real ramifications down the road. So I think that's indeed a big part of it. All right, Miles, what do you got? Good snowy morning, One Pride. Where are you at, man? Where it's snowing today. So, and how bad is it there? Here, it's let's see what it says on the computer. It doesn't have the temperature up there. Temperature just jumped is all it says on my computer. So, but there's no snow here, at least as of yet. Doug of a third. All right, there you go. Donkey Kong, Super Bowl or bust. Good morning to you, Donkey. Hopefully you're having a fantastic morning. Miles, we're proud of your team, Coach. Best respect to you and them. Yeah, and thanks for that. And it's one thing I've had to learn. It's coaching professionally or in college. It is different than coaching high school, and that's something I had to really get used to again, because it'd been years since I coached high school ball, and just the social media stuff with high school sports. I'm like, what in the heck is up with some of these people? So last night after the game, I put a post up on Facebook just about, hey, The ball didn't go our way this night. Hey, lost to a great team. Unfortunately, our season's come to an end. I'm don't take that as a direct quote, but it's something along those lines. And somebody who's not even like a friend of mine on Instagram or Facebook just lights me up about it because when the game was over, these are high school kids, 14 to 16, maybe, I don't know, maybe a few of them 17 or 18 on our team. They lost the game. They're crying. They're emotional. They go to the locker room. What you do every other game of the year, they leave the court. And I don't think they meant anything by it. I don't think they thought anything about it other than game's over. We're out of here. And somebody just blew me up that we were classless and this and that. And I said, hey, I don't know who you are. I just said, hey, you watch the Lions lose the NFC title game. They leave the field. If you watch football, you watch whoever lost the Super Bowl, they leave the field. If you watch the college basketball, when the game's over, they leave the court. If you're a U of M fan, when they won the Big Ten championship, the other team left the field, and same with the national championship. They don't hang out. They don't cheer on the other team. They leave the field. And this person just lit me up over it. I'm like, what does the world come to? It just seems like anything you do, somebody's going to just come after you. And I'm like, wow. And I don't know who the person was, but clearly they took offense to us losing the game, and then just saying, all right, you guys go get your trophies. Good luck to you next week in the next round of the playoffs. We did as many good things as we could for you. I guess somebody still has something to complain about, though. All right, Greg, is it possible to get Snead and Hunter? Is it possible? Yes. I think you'd have to start, though. You're going to have to get Hunter signed to a free agent contract, and that's probably got to be priority one, day one of free agency. At that point, if you got him, then I think you're trying to make that trade for Snead. Now, with that being said, you're going to want to keep, my guess is probably about $7 to $8 million for rookies from the upcoming draft. You're going to want to keep probably about the same amount for the regular season for, in-season signings, things like that due to injuries. You guys get the gist on that. So we've got, I don't know, about $60 million in cap space right now. My anticipation is Hunter's going to get 20-ish. Snead's going to get 20-ish. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't leave you a whole lot of money for anything else because, you got to take into account the draft rookie class, and you're going to need to keep an account, like I said, for money in season for stuff. So to me, you go after those guys. It's possible for sure, but the free agency is over for you at that point. All right, JDC, Coach Dan, hope the Tree of Destiny will be brought out for the start of free agency. We're going to have to talk to Jason about that. I know Jason's in the chat this morning. So, Jason, can you bring out the Tree of Destiny to help this team get to the promised land in free agency? Inquiring minds want to know. Dr. Detroit, Snead and Hunter, and yes, it is possible. Yes. Okay, go for Snead first and then Hunter. I'm down with that. All right, Bird Time. I'm so interested to see what Holmes will put together this week. Let's go Lions! Exclamation points. Can't wait for the season. Yeah, and that's I think we're all chomping at the bit. I mean, every fan is, right? Every fan, every team. We're all waiting to see what's going to shake out. And you know what? I'm going to guess probably by this time tomorrow, maybe tomorrow evening, you're going to start really hearing some things, reports emerging. So-and-so signed with this team is getting this guy. It's reported to be this, 3 years, $45 billion or whatever it is. So yeah, the fun's about to be here for sure. Robert G, good morning. Dan and crew, bummer for the loss, Coach. You and the girls had a great season. Yeah, they did, man. And I'm incredibly proud of them. And I know some of them will play different sports, soccer, track, softball. I'll have to go out and cheer them on and just be a fan for a little bit. All right, Randy, sorry about the loss, Coach, but what a great season, exclamation points. You created a lifelong memory for your team. Great season, 100%. They made some memories for me too. They are, I always refer to kids I coach as knuckleheads. It's just funny seeing the bond they make with each other, and then with the coaching staff. And yeah, it's always fun, man. And thank you for the kind words. All right, Rafi, good morning, Duke crew. Hope all is well. Good job, Coach, on your season. I've been wondering how much playing time do you think Hooker will receive, and do you think they will play Goff or Hooker in the preseason? So let's start with this. The preseason, just based on the past with this team, I don't see any reason for Jared Goff to be on the field. If I'm MCDC, it just doesn't seem to be what he wants from Goff in the preseason. He doesn't want to expose him in any way, shape, or form to an injury. Now, with that being said, I do think if when it comes to Hooker, if you really think you've got something there with him, here's an opportunity to get him out there, get him some experience. It is different, as we all know, the preseason to the regular season to the postseason. But you can keep him learning and evolving, getting him to adjust to NFL reads, pre-snap, post-snap, route tree negotiations with the tight ends, receivers, running backs, etc. So in that, with that, all that being said, I'm guessing you're going to see Hendon Hooker out there, man, the vast majority of the time, maybe 70, 80% of the time, and give the other 20% or whatever to if whoever your third string quarterback is, just so they have some reps too. But those 3 games, if it's me, Hooker's out there maybe as close to every snap as I can give him without totally shutting out the third quarterback. Chris, we got get Snead, pay him. Yeah, and that might be where they go, man. 100%. Him or somebody else, perhaps. Rafi, and free. All right, Palestine. All right, fair enough. I don't get that one, but I may not be aware of something. Chris, all right. All right. Very good. Fire. Yes. Wardo, if the Lions are going to make a move, you think it happens on Monday, or do you think it'll be closer to the draft? As far as like a trade, I guess it comes down to who you're trying to get, because I'm going to guess some team is going to go after Snead or somebody similar to him, and you're probably doing that earlier in free agency, at least would be my anticipation, because if you can't work out that trade, you still have opportunity to sign other people in free agency. So I would say probably Monday through Wednesday, you're going to see if the Lions are going to make a trade or not. Now, they can't get the player they want in free agency. They sign somewhere else or players. Then maybe when you get closer to the draft, a team's falling out of favor with a player, can't re-sign somebody to an extension, something like that. Then you probably see another player or two pop up on potential trades. Bo, what do you got? Taffy, with all due respect, this is a non-political site. Thanks for being here, though. Yeah, and if that's what that's about, Rafi, no more on that, man, because, we don't do politics here, like Bo's saying, so keep it out. There's your warning. Do it again, and I got to put you in timeout, man. All right, Doug, a rumor is less than Brad's board is likely saying Vilder was very serviceable, especially when blitzing. We need cornerbacks who can adjust, who covers, who, depending on wide receivers, really need a tall, big cornerback. Yeah, I would agree. Vildor, it's unfortunate everybody's just going to remember one play with him. Yeah, the guy did not do a bad job. I guess now that I think about it, he did have kind of a similar play against Dallas. If that guy could just hold on to the ball, he'd probably be thought of as a pretty good corner. But unfortunately, the old adage, there's a reason why he's not playing wide receiver. So hopefully the Lions do address some things with the cornerback position. I think most of us get, whether it's free agency or the draft, they're going to target some people and they're going to go after them. Chris, Ted, Red Wings, yes, Red Wings. I don't know how they did yesterday, but it sounds like they're going to make the playoffs, or at least potentially. Doug, biggest contracts I'm wanting are Glasgow and Jackson. I just wonder, can he sign them both? I do think you could get Glasgow and then maybe somebody else similar to Glasgow for almost the price of Jonah. And is that the route you decide to go? Get 2 veteran on the offensive line, but yes, you would have to sacrifice Jonah Jackson. Dead Wings, okay, did they not do well? I don't know. Last night, I kind of was out of it a little bit after our game. Doug, that OL needs to be super strong. I'd agree. And whether or not you're going to take care of it in free agency or the draft or a combination of them, I guess we'll wait and see on that. Broski, Lions definitely need their 2 cornerbacks. Please keep Vildor. You might have some selfish reasons for wanting to say keep Vildor there, Broski Bear, and I get it, man. Eduardo Broski Bear is here. He is, and he's encouraging the Lions to keep Vildor, so let it be known. All right, Rafi, Bo Booth, it ain't being political. I'm just saying free Palestine. P.S. If it bothers you, sorry, not sorry. Well, let's just keep it out of the chat, guys. So, again, please don't bring this stuff up in here. This is sports talk and only sports talk. All right, Chris, I feel sorry for oppressed people. I get it, but let's keep this to sports talk. All right, Doug, but Brad likes to know a player before paying. Yeah, this is true. What does he know about Newsome? Any history? No, unless there's something I'm not privy to. I mean, that's the only thing I can say. He might have a relationship in one manner or form with Newsome that I'm not aware of. Doesn't mean he doesn't have it. But you are 100% right. And he's come out and said it. Brad Holmes would prefer to resign guys he has an established relationship with. All right, Moonscar, good morning, Dan, Duke Crew. Go Lions, 100%. And good to see you in the chat, buddy. Let's see. All right, Don Kong, they won't get either there just doing their job. Yes, they won't get either there just doing their job. All right, fair enough. We'll go with that, Donkey. All right, Eduardo Newsome would be the best DB on this team day one, and he's not elite. If we get above average corner play, it's a start. Yeah, he would be the best, and I'm with you, Eduardo. I don't think he's a Snead. I don't think he's a Surtain the 2 or second or whatever. Anybody on that type of realm, but he would definitely be the best corner I would anticipate on our team from the moment he arrived. And that also brings into question how much you're going to have to pay him and what are you going to have to give up to acquire him. Probably a fourth rounder, maybe a late third, something like that. I would go with that. Let's see. Robert, greetings and salutations. Has anybody seen Dan Ormowski? No, I can't say they have, or at least I have. All right. Yeah, and there's that. Gosh, I typed this in. There's that code that I was mentioning for the t-shirts. All right, Eduardo Duncan gonna be shocked when the Lions make a move for some dude is not a believer at all. It could happen. All right, Chris, don't ban me. Well, just like I said, keep it to just Lions talk or sports talk. All right, Bergheim Price. For the shirts, boy, I guess Anthony, if you're watching right now, maybe throw a price at people because that part I don't know if I know. All right, Chris, give a second, third for a Snead. That could be. I don't think I could be wrong, but I don't think it would cost that much to acquire him. But I've been wrong before. Don Con, LOL, Lardo. I would be shocked. I just don't see Brad and Dan doing business that way. It could be, yeah. I would agree with that. All right, Trump's Royce squeeze in big squeeze with cheese, best burger in Southeast Michigan. All right. Can't say I know that one, so maybe I know Jen loves hamburgers, so maybe we'll have to check that one out. Broski Bear, Trump's genius. Good morning. Fair enough. Good morning, Bear. Burger time. Anthony, how much are the Duke Crew t-shirts? Yeah, let's see if Anthony can throw us a price. JDC, the towel of destiny is washed, dried, and is ready to be snapped again at any NFC North opponent. Behind, yes. Maybe we'll have to do that. Maybe we'll have to make that anytime we play the NFC North, bust out the towel of destiny just for that. Bears are stacked at cornerback, yeah, and re-signing Jackson, that was a good move for them. Eduardo, I have an open mind, Donkey. I guarantee you didn't see the Lions drafting Gibbs at 12 last year. Brad will shock you. Yes, he will. He will shock you. Man Bear Greens, salutations, crew. Back at you. Trumps, I hear cornerback Wayne Smith is coming out of retirement. Could be. And, maybe they'll even bring back, Ray Crockett. Ray Crockett's on a comeback trap. All right, Eduardo, look, it's Broski Bear trying to make the Bears relevant. It might be. And, the Bears are doing what they can to hopefully be relevant again. Or for them, they're hoping. Eduardo, hey, Broski Bear, when was the last time y'all beat the Packers? Asking for a friend. Ooh, shots being fired. Trump, NFC North is stacked. Yeah, it will be. And I haven't paid a ton of attention to Minnesota, but does anybody think they're going to bring back Kirk Cousins? I mean, if I'm them, I would think you got enough talent on this team, especially if you draft well this year, maybe a few signings to be relevant in the division. But is it just time to move off Kirk Cousins? Are you going to go after a rookie? I guess that's what my big question with them. And to me, I'm a big believer in sports. You stay as relevant as long as you can because you never know what's going to happen. I think back to this day with the Bad Boys, the original Bad Boys in the 90s, when they decided to dismantle that team, I was like, man, why? I mean, you could still win X amount of games And if you can just draft a few younger players to go with some of the veterans, who knows what happens in the right playoff series? Maybe you advance. Eduardo, not Minnesota. They probably aren't bringing back Kurt. Yeah, and I question why on that, though. All right, Broski, Trump genius. It is. Yes. All right. Josh, sign for Huff in free agency on Sunday night or Monday afternoon. Yeah. I know I mentioned it earlier in the show. My guess is come tomorrow, we're going to start hearing who's, some speculation on who's being signed by who. So we'll start getting some nuggets tomorrow, maybe even today. Eduardo in Chicago is still, Chicago. Fair enough. Eduardo, so it's really just us in Green Bay. All right. We'll go with that. JDC Eduardo, in my lifetime being a Lions fan, the quote, the Bears were always relevant. All right. Yeah. And, they've had some less than great seasons, but for the most part, every decade they seem to have a few seasons where they pop up. Most fair, last time Lions won a playoff game before last season was 91 playoffs. Lions are a fluke unless they win in the playoffs this season. Fair enough. I'll go with that. Yeah. Establish a trend and a norm. I got you. All right. Eduardo, I've been in the NFL. I've been an NFL fan for 10 years. I've only seen the Bears be relevant once, and they still didn't do anything. All right. Well, let's, hey, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of a rivalry between the teams in the NFC North. Trump, NFC North should be a dogfight. I would agree with that. Yeah, I think I really don't think anybody's going undefeated next year. Probably not anybody just walking out with one loss either. All right, Eduardo, Chicago can't even get a quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards. All right, we'll go with that. Don Kong, I will shave my head if Brad Holmes signs a top cash free agent. We have several quality mid free agents coming soon. Yeah, and I would think they're probably going to. All right, you signed a couple people. JDC, Trump's genius going to be a knockdown, drag-out season. Yeah, it will be, and it'll be interesting to see. And I'll look this way. It's not just the NFC North, I think. I think, Dallas's division, the Philadelphia's, I'm anticipating, going to kind of correct itself. Dallas should be decent. I mean, I don't know about Washington. We'll see what happens with them, I guess. All right, Trump, I've been an NFL fan for 50 years. Bears have won a Super Bowl. Detroit has not. This is true. They have not. All right. Bo, what do you got? Donkey Kong, do you have any hair? Oh, that's a good question to ask before you're going to say you're going to shave it. So, fair question. Eduardo, y'all are funny. Yes, sometimes jokes are good. Broski Bear, last December, the Lions' soft defense was exposed by that high-powered Justin Fields-led offense. The game wasn't close. It was, and the two teams split. But I would say, I take that back. I would say both games were close. In the fourth quarter, you guys kind of blew one game, and then we kind of got away with the other one. So as far as, took advantage where the Lions couldn't make a comeback. So who knows what happened from season to season. One funky. The Bears are only relevant in Chicago. They are the best thing from of a city, which is extremely sad. Fair enough. Anthony, good morning, do Crucible Bowl or bust? And Anthony, I don't know if you've seen it, but there are some people asking what the price of the shirts are. So if you can, throw that in the comment section. Eduardo, last January, the Lions were in the NFC title game while Chicago was sitting on the couch wishing they could play in the playoffs. So this is also true. All right. Eduardo, laugh out loud. Fair enough. We got some rivalry brewing up here. Hooky Doo. Hey, Brent, how did you do in the VA yesterday? Yeah, Brent, any update on your status? Eduardo, Chicago had one job, and that was to beat Green Bay. Y'all want to be us so bad, and yet you can't even beat Green Bay. All right, here we're really laying it on here. All right, Charles, Darius Williams, cornerback, and Dorsey Dory, defensive end, will be Lions on Wednesday. Okay, so not first day, second day, but you're going to wait a day or two to get them. I would like both of those players. Those are nice call-outs by you, Charles. Matthew, if Sewell is moving to the left, then Brad should try to pick up a first round and get that right tackle out of Oregon. Put him at right guard next year, next to Sewell, and put Glasgow to left guard. Yeah, that would be probably a decent idea there. If that is the plan with Decker in the future, then yes, I would concur with that. Bergtime, you're the last person to suspect anyone. that person probably was just a miserable Karen. All right, fair enough. Yeah. The person in the chat, and who knows, man. I mean, it's one thing. I think we all get it, and all live life enough where people just come at you for some of the craziest things. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But hey, it's all right, man. JDC. Yep. Shout out to Brent. Keep on trucking. Yeah. Hopefully you're doing well, man, and let us know how you're doing. Hopefully the visit was a good one. Broski Bear, Triple Genius. I've been an NFL fan for 40 years. Someone who's only been a fan for 10 years really has no perspective. They really don't know the game. All right. Well, William, I'd rather Hunter and a second tier DB. We still have to sign players next year. We don't need to. We don't need Snead. I get what you're saying about the cap and everything with that. So yeah, probably a valid point. Eduardo, they can always move around the cap hits and such. I never focus on how much they pay someone. It's about the cap hits. Yeah, you're not wrong there at all. Broski Bear, answer me this. When was the last time the Bears did something of note? Question mark. When was the last time y'all beat your biggest rival? Oh, wait. Oh, boy. We are really on this one today, aren't we, guys? The current iteration of the Bears are irrelevant. All right. Bo, Brent, I have spent many hours in the VA hospital. I have a great perspective for all the professionals there. Respect. I have great respect for all the professionals there. Hope you received the care you deserve. Yeah, 100%. And again, hopefully you are doing well, my friend. Eduardo, the current iteration of the Lions are relevant. This is true based on last year. 100% agree. Mile mark 40 miles south of the bridge. Okay, so yeah, you're. I'm supposed to go up there pretty soon, but hopefully you're staying warm in the snow. Last time the Bears did something of note was 15 years ago when the Colts ran all over them. Yeah, man, is it only? It just seems like to me that was so long ago when they were in the Super Bowl. But yeah, you're right. I guess it has been about 15 years. Broski, when was the last time the Lions went to the Super Bowl? I'll wait. It would be 57 when it was just deemed something else. But let's not forget, the Lions are still the 17th most winning franchise as far as championships in all the NFL. And that really goes to say just how winning they were for a number of years, since it's been 70 years since the last one. So you go back 70 years ago, they might have been like the most winning franchise in the NFL as far as championships. All right. Then you just decided to take a few decades off. All right, mile marker. Bo, what do you got? I kind of missed the boo. All right. Well, boo, Bo, whatever it is, man. Anthony, I don't believe we're going to have a $20+ million contract with Snead or Hunter when the St. Brown, Goff, Sewell, and others need re-signing. That's probably a very, very valid point. Trump, I wouldn't be surprised to see us re-sign Quintez. Yes, could be. Yes. All right, Anthony Jackson gone. Yeah, I would imagine. And Bo Boo, there you go, Miles. Yes. David, what do you got? Vildor is not good. Very fair enough. One funky. Broski and your squad is still looking at the regular bumper, the rear bumper of the Lions. Weird, huh? It is. And you know what? Hey, let's hope we keep it that way next year. All right, David. Emmer started. Yeah, Hamas. Yes. Broski. Last December, the Lions' soft defense was exposed. Didn't we already have this one? I think so. Yeah. Rafi, geez, coach. If saying Free Palestine bothers you, it's not that it bothers me or anything. It's just this isn't the place for those conversations. This is about the sports. I don't get into politics. I don't get into religion. I don't get into who's the greatest guitar player of all time. There's a place for that. I don't bring my ex-wife to my new wedding. So, just something kind of like that. I don't talk politics in a kindergarten reading course. It's just, hey, there's a place for all that stuff. I'm not saying that any of the takes are wrong. It's just not for here. All right. Moving right along here. Brent, wasn't thinking we drafted wide receiver, but I really like Xavier Leggett. Yeah. Any idea what round he'll go? His tape shows that he's a dog. I'm going to say probably late second, or maybe just how about the second or third round? That it would be my anticipation. And Brent, can you hit us with an update on where you think or how you're doing with things, how the visit went and such? One funky LOL. What happened to the other 3 games of the last 2 seasons? Oh yeah, Lions W's. This is also true. David, what do you got? Just draft a cornerback. I think you're probably going to get a cornerback. Yeah, there's probably no question about that. Anthony, free agent is going to determine our draft free agency. Yes. David, maybe we can draft a cornerback. Oh boy. That's actually kind of funny, but anyways, Mike the Marine, howdy Dan, Lions family, howdy to you too, Mike. Hopefully have a great morning. Keep freedom of speech free. This is true, Trump, but I'll also say this. I probably don't talk about certain topics around other topics. So I don't go to, say, a bar mitzvah and talk about the greatest porn sites ever. So, just some things, just kind of don't mix. I don't go to, what do you want to call it? Where somebody gets baptized and talk about, genocide or something like that. Just one of those things, All right, Broski, he'd be explosive. All right, fair enough. Trump, Phil, good morning. Good morning to you. And hopefully you have a great one, Phil. Coach, did you win last night? Unfortunately not, Phil. We were on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Had our chances in the fourth quarter, but unfortunately the ball did not go our way. And now we are looking forward to a little bit of a break before doing it all over again next year. All right, Trump, men should get Fields if Chicago dumps him. That's not a bad idea. Because if Minnesota's getting rid of Fields, getting rid of Kirk Cousins, I'm guessing it's because they specifically want to go for a younger quarterback. I like Justin Fields. I think you get an offensive coordinator to stick with him for more than 2 or 3 seasons. You keep developing aspects of his passing game and his progressions. I think the kid could really be something. But I also get in today's NFL, and especially with the spot the Bears are in, they're probably taking Caleb Williams, I would think. It's not what I would do, but it's probably what they're going to do. And you know what? Fine. You got 5 years of, less expensive quarterback play where whoever acquires Fields, you're going to have to pay him sooner versus later. And if you're going to make that investment in him, whatever that's going to be, you're probably having to re-sign him. You're signing him to an extension as soon as you acquire him. Bo Boo, what do you got? Good morning, Phil. That's a vibrant green. Yes, it is. Yes, he's got a very green guitar there. Dash, what do you got? Edom Leo's all right. I don't know who Leo is unless it's the Lions. Leo the Lion. All right. Anthony, 20, 25, and 30 plus 6 to ship. Okay, so 20, 25, and 30. So I'm guessing 20 for the small, 25 medium, 30 large, and $6 to ship. There you go. So you guys got the order code. Phil, thumbs up. Raph, damn, I really been here since day one, and I'm really about to unsubscribe today. Shake man, bye, Duke Crew. All right, well, see you later, man. I'm just the only thing I'm asking is don't talk politics in here, man. All right, William, just need a better D line. That makes DBs better. The DBs the best DBs in the league are not going to fix our running quarterback problem. This is also correct. Anthony, small, large, extra large, 2 times and 3 to 4 times. You got a lot of different options there. Brent, Bo Booth. I'm just going to go with Bo. Always have received great care at the VA facilities. I would hope so, man. I would definitely hope so. Anthony, got to have my contact information. Won't let me hear. All right. Yeah, just send it to me and I will repost it in tomorrow's chat. All right. Broski, Trump's, I'm looking forward to seeing how the quarterback situation plays out. I'm disappointed in Fields, but I'd still rather trade the number 1 pick and stack the younger talent. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would keep Fields and just acquire as much as I could for that number 1 pick. Of course, the opposite side of that is you're going to need a team or two to obviously offer a king's ransom or whatever for that number 1 pick. But we'll see what your team elects to do. Bob Marca. Now, man, I love Chicago, the city. Bears let me down. I thought they would be right behind us this last season. They made some real progress, though. They did, in my opinion. Phil, I have to have a heart cath next week. Well, hopefully you're doing okay with that, man. Yeah, I don't wish that anything. And let us know how it goes, man, or we'll all be sending thoughts and prayers to you. All right, Trump, Chicago, no different than any other. Let's again keep politics out of it. Phil, next, yes. Brent, VA doc said I'm okay to travel again and booked my flight. All right, man. Well, heading to the Bahamas. All right. Hopefully you have a good time wherever you may be going. Trump's Green Bear, I trade the first pick and stack the team. Yeah, that's I think we're all in agreement there. But I also get they missed out on Trubisky. Man, do they do it again? Not taking that top quarterback guy. I know what I would do, but it may not be what they do. All right, mile marker, give me a break. The young men playing ain't known the game more than 20 years. They know the game. Haha, fair enough. Phil, fresh snow on the ground in Traverse City. That's a place I need to get to, man. It's been a while since I've been up there. JDC, good luck. Keep on rocking. Yeah, you keep it going, Phil. Hopefully you're okay, man. Broski, let's see. Mile marker 3 they play the game so they know current, but doesn't mean they know history or trends or have perspective. That's also true. Some people don't know the past. How about that? Phil, thanks for going to be right in the unit where I work. Well, at least you know the people working on you. Yeah, no politics. Sorry, guys. My voice is getting a little shot here, so maybe just a couple more. Anthony, people just don't get this is Lions talk, not Trump, Biden, Palestine. Don't want to hear about it. Yeah, and not in here. Just keep it to Detroit Lions or stuff that's not religious, non-political. Dale, realistically, who do y'all think Holmes is going after? Man, that's a great question, Dale, and I'm not sure, man. We could go in 50 different directions. All right, guys, my voice is giving out here, I think, from last night and then today. So I'm probably going to wrap this one up. Got to almost an hour. If there is some breaking news later today, some news starts coming out about free agency or whatever it is, I'll get on the horn to you guys as fast as I can. Other than that, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 6,000. And also, if you would be so kind, hit the thumbs up button. Other than that, hope you all take care. Thanks for all the kind words about the team, the season, all that stuff. But we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. See you guys.